Now on the back page at the bottom, I'm not going to do all the problems because some of them are the same, but I am going to do 5 of the 7. 10 and 11 are probably the two harder problems on the back. Um, if we look first at number 10, remember that to find the cost per mile to operate the vehicle, it is the fixed costs plus the variable costs divided by the number of miles. Now in 10 is a little harder than 9 because in 10 there's an additional fixed cost, which is the depreciation amount. And because of that, we have to first find the depreciation. So to find the depreciation, remember, it's the purchase price minus the current value divided by the number of years owned. The purchase price here is $23,690. That's what the car was purchased for. And we subtract from that the present value, which is $18,320. And then the number of years owned in this one is 2. When we do that, we'll find that the depreciated value per year is $2,685. So that becomes a fixed cost. So when we start adding in these fixed costs here, we have to add in $2,685 to the fixed costs. So if I add up all the variable costs add up to $24,0990. And then I have to add up all of the fixed costs. So remember, now I've got to consider the depreciation cost. So I'll go 2685 plus the 210 plus the 11250 plus the 872, and I get a total of 3879.50. So I have to go back to this formula, and I'm going to add my variable costs and my fixed costs. So I'm going to go my variable costs plus my fixed costs, it's 3879.50 plus my 2409.90, and I'll divide that by the number of miles. The number of miles driven here is 13,239. So I'll add those two on top first, and I got 6289.40. I divide that by the miles, 13,239, and I get 0.475, which rounds to 48 cents per mile. Number 11 is a little bit tricky because it actually requires me to do a pinch of algebra. Now, in number 11, you'll have to remember that the cost per mile is it's the fixed costs plus the variable costs divided by the number of miles equals the cost per mile. Well, in number 11, what it gives us is the cost per mile, which is 0.28, and it gives us the number of miles, which is 14,000, and it gives us the fixed cost, but it doesn't give us the variable cost. So what we have to do is we have to solve for the variable cost. So when I plug this into this equation, it gives me 2,300 plus x over 14,000 equals 0.28. Just took these numbers and put them into my cost per mile formula. So now I've got to solve for this. So I've got to take 14,000 over 1, right? And that cancels those out. So then I've got to multiply this by 14,000 over 1. and that's going to give me 2,300 plus X equals 3,920. So now I have to subtract 2,300 from each side, and that's going to give me X equals 1,620. So my answer for what are my variable costs is my variable cost must have been 1,620. I'm going to switch colors here and go over to 13. For number 13, it is telling me David leases a car. It's $329 a month, 48 months. There's a deposit. So remember, this is the number of months times the cost per month. So it's 329 times 48, because you have to pay all those payments. Plus we have to pay the deposit amount. The deposit amount in this problem is $3,500. Plus we have to pay the title fee and we have to pay the license fee. So it's plus 105 and plus 78. And when I pencil all that out, we should get for number 13, the cost is going to be $19,475.